Welcome to this new podcast. I'm Ronnie.
And I'm Beni.
And we're RnB. So, we're RnB, but besides that, who are we?
Who are we? Yeah, what are we doing here today? Oh, that is the question. Well, I'm Beni. I'm from Finland originally, lived here and there, done so many different things. It's impossible to say them all. Had a career as a press photographer once in another life, it seems like. But now I find myself here in Gothenburg with old-time childhood friend Ronnie. And yeah, together we've started discussing the big questions in life.
Yeah, what's the meaning of life? What is love? All those things.
These kind of things. So Ronnie, who are you?
My name's Ronnie, and I'm also from Finland originally. And I'm a singer and a guide towards self-awareness, freedom from fear, such things. My own path has been, one of many hardships, and because of that, I have also been forced to answer many different questions that we'll also talk about in this podcast.
Oh.
So, what are we going to discuss in this first episode, Beni?
In this first episode, oh yes. We're gonna talk about the chaos of life and how it can all seem so very meaningless, and how to just find meaning.
Yeah.
How to live your life in some sort of to find a rudder for your life, maybe in some sense. Yeah.
And if we look at the world around us today, we can see how things are not going so well. Maybe worse than ever in history, and it's easy to become disillusioned, to become angry, disappointed at the world, and also try to find our own place. What am I supposed to do? How am I supposed to be?
But at the same time, as you're saying like that, it is in some sense the darkest times, and like the world is now going where we maybe would want it to go. But at the same time, I do experience a very strong polarization. Like there is a very strong force kind of against that or separating from that. So you have, in some sense, very two different factions.
Yeah, you do. And I'd like to comment on that a little bit also, because we have, in a sense, people now who is looking for answers more than ever. At the same time, if one looks at social media or things like this, you always see people posting these things that are called memes, or is that how you pronounce it?
Memes.
I don't know. Memes, yeah.
Memes.
Well,
it's okay. All good. We're here to learn and educate ourselves. Actually, one of the big things for me has been, just things like this, laughing at my own stupidity and my own mistakes and showing myself truly as I am and being vulnerable. But that is, it's
and as I was saying about these memes, then nowadays people are posting these memes with different quotes from certain people, certain famous people, certain wise-ish people, and we have like thousands of likes and comments on these things, like I agree or I don't agree, or people have all these kinds of things that I have to have an opinion about this and so on, and I've been reacting to this okay, so this is what passes for wisdom in our day and age, and it's really not. This really isn't anything, and when a person posts this kind of meme, we should really first ask ourselves, do we actually know what this means? And after that, we should ask ourselves that what does this mean for me? And what do I want to say to other people by posting this?
And also, what has the person who posted it, what was their intention?
Yeah, exactly. But that's what I meant. What is because to be honest, we generally post these kinds of things to seem smart, to seem wise, to give some kind of good feeling or so on. But good feeling, these words, if we don't understand them, they don't really mean anything. And we have to understand the substance behind the words to be able to get it. It's easy to say, like you can tattoo on yourself like carpe diem or something like that, whatever. But what does it really mean for me?
Like what comes to my mind actually is very much, it doesn't really take into consideration at all what the words or what the wisdom, what the meme really is, because I just at the moment I just see that the person who posted that, they want connection, that's why they post it, you know. That's what they feel they're lacking, and they want to post this thing that it resonates with them, and they just hope that their good friends are also going to be like, oh yeah, I feel the same, like and then they make a connection, And it is kind of very superficial, and to my mind comes also, that it is this kind of fast food single serving kind of the quick dopamine from the likes, and it all makes sense, but it's also very fucked up, because you shouldn't have to seek connection through those kind of things. Like that's like, come on, be nature, speak with your friends, be vulnerable, be okay with that.
Yeah, don't sit and scroll several kilometers on your phone every day.
Yeah,
which is what we actually do, which is quite sick.
That would be interesting, that you would have an app that would count how many kilometers you've scrolled per day. Wow, that would be amazing. Today you wasted this many kilometers just scrolling. Amazing. I wonder if it exists.
Yeah, so we've sidetracked here a bit, but it's important also, of course, that we tell about our own side in this, and to me at least, I see this thirst for knowledge and people seeking for answers, but then we just we seem to just be content with saying things we don't actually know what they mean, just to seem like we are doing something to the rest of the world, and we have these comments, this is so true, I so feel this in my very bones, and so on, and as a guide towards self-awareness, I come from this side that we are not actually aware of ourselves at all until we start to work on that. So we can't really be aware of anything that's like that. Like I feel this in my bones. If you have a bad day, the next day, you wouldn't feel it in your bones. But if you actually would feel the substance behind something, it doesn't matter if you have a bad day or a good day, you would still feel it, whatever you would feel. So to be self-aware is to become a constant, so that actually you have an opinion about things that does not just change depending on how the wind blows and so on. But these are further questions that we can discuss more later. And also, as you are following along and listening, if some questions come to your mind that you would like us to discuss here in the podcast, please do send them to us, and we will look at them and
make stupid jokes. No, just kidding. Judge you very harshly. No. No, just judge my own impulse to judge. That's what I'm gonna mostly judge, and then be aware that this judging is a little bit affecting me, and then be kind and compassionate to myself, and just laugh about it. Yeah, that's what's gonna. And then we maybe discuss the topics you sent.
Exactly. Mr. Comic Relief here. No, it's we know that a lot of us have very deep going and serious questions in regards to who they are, their identity, or who they are, how they are supposed to deal with the world around them, and so on. And we do have a few such questions that we will tackle in the beginning of this podcast, and then also answer questions as they come in to us.
Should we zone in a little bit more on the topic of today? So if I find now then, let's say I find myself in the situation that, it's everything is, you know, a little bit, I'm resisting everything. I'm like, I don't want to do nothing, and the world seems just to be not a very pleasant and open and welcoming place to me. Like, I find myself, you know, isolating myself and so on.
Yeah,
I'm not enjoying life.
No.
Well, what the hell should I do?
Well, this is not a simple question, because first of all we all are different, so we have to listen to ourselves first of all. But of course, if we are not self-aware, then how can we hear our own intuition? How can we hear the voice in the inner silence, the silence within us? Well, we can't, and we're taken away from it by stress, by worry, in essence, all kinds of fears. So fear is first of all what we must address. Like, if we think that I feel everything is meaningless. So if I would think of that as a kind of fear,
or maybe even, you know, not everything is meaningless, just everything lacks meaning.
Well, it's easy to feel like that. It's easy to be disillusioned by the world today. Also, since you know we have a very strange society where some may dine and some will not. You know, depending on their economical situation and you know, and so forth. And we're supposed to be a very highly developed society and highly developed people with a big brain, who is supposed to be able to fix such things as poverty and starvation and all these kinds of things, and we're not supposed to do wars. Why do we war at all? I mean, this is something that we should have grown out of already. So it's very easy to become just like what's the meaning of everything. But then if we choose to turn this into a certain type of fear, then for instance now, Beni, if you would now say that you feel that everything is meaningless, and if you would think of it as a kind of fear, what kind of fear would that be then? Because there must be something in you personally that makes you feel that it's meaningless.
I mean, I would say it is a fear of, you know, that you need to put yourself out there. You know, life doesn't happen to you. You need to do stuff.
Yeah.
So in some sense, the fear. Maybe it is.
Would you say fear of acting then, or what?
No, not really fear of acting. More like fear of being judged. Fear of being maybe new at something.
There are many different kinds of fears, and the biggest weapon of the chaos that is within our minds and around us is fear.
But actually, you know, it is fear of possible disappointment.
Yeah, exactly.
It is kind of, you know, I've done this so many times, and the end result, you know, of course there's no end, but like I'm left with disappointment, and then again I put myself out there and I do things, and and then again disappointment, and it's like, oh come on, what is this disappointment? Like, why do I even do this if I'm just going to be disappointed again? So yes, I believe that is the true fear. Yeah.
Fear of being disappointed.
Yeah.
Like if we actually pull up our sleeves and do something, then in the end it will just turn into mush anyway, or other people will disappoint us, or the world will disappoint us again.
I mean, there's many different options, of course. Like what I'm personally, for me at the moment, what I'm working on very much is I'm working out body weight training since almost a year now. And that is something where I can set the bar at a achievable level all the time. So I mean, that is something that I've learned to understand, that, you know, for sure when you do things there is always the possibility of disappointment, and it's okay to fail. Like there's nothing bad about that. That's how you learn also. But if you don't want to have that experience of disappointment, then you should do more things where you get the feeling of achieving something. So for me now then, for example, working with the body, working with body weight training, doing calisthenic skills, that has been very rewarding, and really like feeding that part of me that really needs this this sensation of achieving, of completing something, of progress, instead of what I've experienced in many cycles during my whole adult life, at least, some my childhood also to some extent. But these constant disappointments and like things going completely sideways, having to start completely over.
And you mentioned then achievements as a kind of cure to disappointment. It's very much true. So then if we take the fear of disappointment, then to achieve something is something that chips away at that disappointment, that negativity, that meaninglessness.
And also in some sense, like then if, you know, let's say I set my goal for today that I go to the gym, I'm gonna do archer push-ups, for example. But then today it's just like, I don't have the power and the like body control to do it. Sure, it's a disappointment, but once I learn to deal with this, in some sense, smaller disappointments, and just be okay with that, and, you know, feel that as a disappointment, yes, and be okay with it, process it. Then it's gonna be easier with the bigger things also, and to, you know, accept all the wrong things in the world. Just it's okay. I don't need to control everything.
And in the same way, I don't get depressed when I see him at the gym and he's going like, because I can't.
It's so much fun. So much fun.
So then if we think about the world and being disillusioned at the world and at the chaos we see around us, at you know, wars and poverty, starvation, all these questions, then we have all these kinds of things like people showing solidarity,
like demonstrating and all this, you mean?
No. Now I'm talking about like something happens and people put attention to this by like changing the picture with their their picture and putting the flag of some certain country or something like that. So this really has nothing to do with the thing that actually happened. This has to do with feeling better ourselves and like, okay, I did something. Okay, so I show that I care by doing this. And I
mean, it is tribal. You want to fit in. You want to be connected again. No, It's also a part of that, or maybe it's the fear of, you know, if I don't do this, then they'll judge me.
Yeah, it's true. That's
like
also
shit.
true.
I didn't change my profile picture now to this. Oh, damn! Now there's gonna be some haters in my social media friends.
Yeah, exactly.
That's a tricky one. Yeah, don't upset the internet trolls also.
And that's the kind of society we live in now, which is to me crazy. But yeah, it is, and we can say certain things, we cannot say other things. Rowan Atkinson said this very well when he made a speech about that we can now get jailed for people if the person feels slandered by something that we say.
Interesting.
Yeah, and this is again something, you know, now we're going away again from the subject here, but this is again crazy.
No, but it is super interesting, and for sure, in some sense, I can accept that if I want to verbally be aggressive towards you, and and you know, if that is actually my intention. And then you know that you are actually hurt by it, then for sure, go ahead. But if I say something and, you know, it's half-hearted or it's actually a joke, you know, and you just choose to be offended.
Exactly, and that's what I mean. That's what I mean. In this case, also he was talking about that somebody had offended somebody's horse, and was fined for this because this person took it very personally that
their horse was slandered.
I mean, I don't think the horse really cared.
The horse was just horsing around like that horses do.
Whatever, said the horse. So
yeah, it's amazing.
But this again is fear, and we feel that we have the right, we have the we are now we must react to this. You know, nowadays we have a society where you know, Beni can choose to be a cat today, and tomorrow he can choose that, okay, now I'm a fish instead, and you know, if I don't speak the fish language, we won't understand each other, because he will refuse to listen to me. You know, and if I would say to him that stop being a fish, then basically I might get fined for that.
You're violating my I don't know which rights.
Fishy rights.
My rights to exist as whatever I want to be.
Yeah, as a goldfish.
Yes, we are all unique snowflakes, or kind of not.
A word that we don't know if we can. Yeah.
But today I'm not a goldfish. Pretty sure I don't feel like a goldfish. Part of me. Yeah.
Yeah, I also don't. But who knows about tomorrow?
Yeah, and also I accept, for sure, I'm okay with that. I prefer that people don't act like goldfish or feel like goldfish, but if they do, sure.
Yeah, I mean, we have to say this because this is the society today, that if you want to be a cat or if you want to be a fish, then go ahead. We don't judge you.
Yeah,
we absolutely don't judge you, but we are not a cat.
No, everything. I mean, everything is allowed as long as you actually take responsibility for what you do.
Yeah, and
so, you know,
and try to not insult people's horses.
Yeah. Like, keep down the horse insults with both horse and the actual horse also. There's also nice people, so yeah, don't insult any horse.
Yeah, or animals for that matter.
Oh
yeah. We can also then talk about animals, because animals they function on a, let's say, in a way a simpler frequency. For them life is natural. You know, you live and you die, you eat and you procreate and you know whatever.
Yeah, but I have to
sleep.
cut in there because life for humans, we are not separate from nature. So actually everything we do is natural.
Yeah, it's true.
So I mean, even our smartphones, they are natural because we made them, and we are not separate from nature, even though we would want to. So everything we do is natural. That is my definition of it. I don't know if anyone agrees with, but yeah.
I mean, now we're looking at a part which is not part of nature there, the camera, but
it is part of nature. I argue it is part of nature.
Nature and technology. Yeah. I mean, we do try to find the balance there, but
Yes.
unfortunately, we have gone a little bit too much towards the technology side.
Sorry, there was a bug hanging from my hat. Now it's hanging from my hand. That's okay. I'll put the bug down. We're talking about animals. Bugs are also animals.
Yeah.
So the simpler beings.
Yeah,
the
I mean,
animals.
well, I don't want to call them simpler beings because we might be.
There's nothing wrong with simple. I also consider myself quite a simple being. I'm a simple man who likes simple things, physical work, not so much brain work, a little bit brain work, but not too complex. So yes.
I'm a bit more complex and complicated.
I kind of make things complicated, but I try to be a simple man.
Yeah, but what I meant to say about why I brought this up was that they function in harmony with nature and in the circle of life. Humans have for years and years tried to rise above and beyond the circle of life, and this is bound to fail because we are bioelectronic. we are bioelectronical batteries, and we are part of nature. We get the vibrations of nature. We get the breath, the energy into us all the time, and that is what keeps us alive. The body, the form is a machine that is being breathed through. Which brings me to another thing in regards to this, what we talked about disappointment and fears and meaninglessness and so on. We are being breathed through. That means that life is given to us, and if we learn to listen to that breath, we learn to listen to the silence within us, then answers are also given to us. There is a path chosen for us, and when we start to hear the silence within, then we can also find this path and start to walk it. This has happened to me, and it happened to me through my hardships. If I wouldn't have had my hardships, I wouldn't have found this path. And I mean that's the same is true for you, I think.
For sure. Yeah. I mean everything, all my experiences have brought me to this point here and now. Like, what else can I? It makes it definitely does make sense to feel gratitude to everything that I have experienced in my life. Even though I'd rather not have some of those experiences. Still, there's part of me that still wants to reject them very harshly. But yeah, gratitude is what I'm practicing to learn to feel through those things.
And for me, I feel that without my hardships, I would not have found the path that I have found, as I said, and this path is the greatest treasure that I've ever gotten. So it has shown me what life is, what the meaning of life is, what I'm supposed to do, and I wouldn't give it away for anything. So all that school bullying, relationships that really went bonkers. That's a subject, by the way.
Yeah, that's a really good subject. Let's talk about our most horrible relationships. That's gonna be a long ass episode. Oh man, I have so much dark shit there. So much dark shit. I was really an asshole so many times. Yeah, really an asshole.
I actually began writing once a text which was called Cray Cray Girlfriend.
Cray Girlfriend. I'm journaling. If I'm journaling, it usually means I have a breakup like happened in the last year or something, and that's when I'm journaling, and it's not very beautiful. No.
Yeah, but yeah, as I said, all these hardships have led me to this path, and it's really like when I was starting to sing classically then, and I remember I was interviewed, and they asked me, so where are you going? And I said, per aspera ad astra, through hardships to the stars, and this is really what I've done. I've been looking for answers all my life, but only when the bow broke, so to say, or bow broke.
When the bow broke.
When the bow broke.
That sounds very familiar.
Or bow.
Bow of the boat.
Bow.
The bow.
The bow.
You mean a boat, and there's the bow of the boat, and it breaks, and everything goes to shit.
Yeah, the bow broke.
Yeah. Or I mean, for sure, if you're shooting with a bow at something and it breaks, it's also bad.
Yeah, but it wasn't the bow; it was the bow. We could talk about this also for a long time. But
bow or bow, potato, tomato.
But so yeah, it was only when that happened that that I was able to open the door, which I had tried to open all my life. And as it happened, then me being who I am, I found that many more doors were open beyond this door. So it was just this first door that needed opening, and then after that I was able to fly through the rest. Well, a few of them, then came others. And I realized that if I hold on to bitterness and anger and sadness and such things, then I am controlled by this. And for instance, if I was bullied, and I feel that I was bullied, I have a right to feel like this, I'm hurt, then I let those people who bullied me control me, and I do that constantly for the rest of my life. Same thing with bad relationships.
I mean, it's especially with bullying, it is this victim mentality there.
Yeah. But I mean,
in some sense, it is very true. Like you should not be bullied. So I mean, obviously, it is a very natural thing to feel that this is not fair. And
of course. But what I mean is that it doesn't really to other people it doesn't matter. What matters is how it feels to us.
How you perceive it.
And we build our lives upon these things. So you know, it's like when a woman is with an abusive man, and she finds a man who doesn't abuse her. Very often, she feels that something is missing.
Oh yes.
And then she goes to another man who also abuses her, and this feels like home. You know, because we are habitual creatures. We are used to these things, and this brings me also to the fact that there is one thing that we identify ourselves with more than anything else, and that is our suffering. You know, I was bullied. I was in this bad relationship. You know, I was treated badly. I have a right to feel like this. This is me. You know. But and we are ready to let go of any good memory, any good feeling, as long as I don't have to let go of my suffering, you know, my pain. But it's not part of us. it's external negativity that has come upon us, unfortunately, and it's sad that it's happened like that. But it's not ours to have and to hold. It's not part of who we are. And I believe also that this brings me back then to the disappointment which you talked about. That if people disappoint us, it really has nothing to do with them, and very seldom they will change. It has to do with what we expect of them and of others. And first of all, we need to check that am I doing things the way that I expect others to do? Like for instance, if I am ready to do something, to do a project, for instance, and so on, are the others involved also ready to do that? And most likely, or like quite often, we are disappointed in how others act, or we get we only need two people to get a conflict.
Yeah, that's true.
We very easily go into conflict.
Yeah, but what I'm thinking actually now is that I mean, we need to if you speak about trusting people, there's people who think, and there's people who speak, and there's people who do. So you need to kind of, especially kind of with new people who you've not known them for a very long time. Of course, people change also, but with new people, they will say all kinds of things, but you can actually trust what they do, what you actually see happening, because their word doesn't really mean much yet. And it's unfortunate to some extent. Like I've been this very blue-eyed guy who just trusts everyone, and new people are how amazing, and they promise me everything, and everything is gonna be amazing.
Benny, you will get this castle here.
Yes, this is now mine. I just need to do those small things. Okay, cool. And then everything turns sideways. But anyway, in general, make observations of and also try to do this as a non-judgmental practice, make observations of how much in alignment are, first of all, your own thoughts, words and actions, and then the people who you spend most of your time with. Make some observation how well they are aligned. And there, like if you notice that your partner, for example, always says that I'll do the dishes, I'll take out the trash, but never does. I'm not gonna say anything more. Just be observant of that. Make your own call. How you're gonna handle it. Yeah. But being in alignment with these things, it's when you start to focus on that within yourself, it makes quite a big difference in how you perceive things also. And also how you can trust yourself to actually, because that is like, if I don't trust myself, that means that I'm gonna say that tomorrow I'm gonna read half a book and go to the gym and eat just a salad, and then I read 2 lines and I go to the gym but I eat really badly, and then I can't trust myself if I keep doing those kind of things. So set the bar at a reasonable height, so that you can always go way under it, of course, but but anyway, set the bar at a reasonable height, and be kind to yourself and try to get in alignment. And do these small things, one of the easiest things to make you feel that you accomplished something straight in the morning. Just make your bed when you get up. Just make your bed. That's it.
And if we want to talk a little bit more about what other things we can do to feel meaning in our lives, we can help others. We can choose a cause. This is something that I believe in. So I start to either work on this myself, I create something, or I join some group or something like that. Helping others is something that gives us also purpose. It can also be, just helping a grandmother or a grandfather or even both.
Just being of service. I mean, go feed some birds or something.
Yeah, exactly. And many people find meaning in a relationship. This is of course what many are looking for, because we have a lot of lonely people there, and people say out there, and people say that, oh, if I found love, then everything would be perfect. Well, this is not how it really is, but if one looks at it shallowly, to also find a relationship where you are feeling happy and so on is also to gain meaning. Then there is of course this path leading within towards self-awareness, which is something that most people will maybe not do, but that is something then that leads to something that is lasting. Then you can.
Does it relate to something lasting?
Yes.
I'm very skeptical if it leads to something lasting. I'm convinced that everything is temporary. Everything is temporary. That's why it's so. You can just laugh about it. Everything is temporary. The only constant is change.
Yeah, and we can discuss a lot about this also, and what time is and all these things.
What do you mean time? What is he talking about? Time? What is that?
And what is love, for that matter?
Wow, love. So many different types of love.
But we are also, that's why we are so well balanced together, because we are a little bit different kinds of characters. You are more a hands-on character, what I would call a kshatriya, and whereas I would be a brahmin. And in that way we function differently, but we can also give things from two different perspectives, and that's why we're doing this also in this way. So here is briefly how to start to find meaning and a little bit of joy and purpose in a colorless existence, if we want to call it like that. And we are not saying that the existence is colorless. There's a lot of color around us. But if one feels like that, then these are some things that we can do.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, I hope this is helpful to someone, and I hope it doesn't confuse someone else too much.
Yeah, and if it confused you, you can always ask us questions.
Yeah, if it confused you, please be in touch. Yeah, that would be very fun and very educational.
We will unconfuse you.
Unconfuse you, deconfuse.
Yeah, so we here in RnB, we are quite straight to the point, and we will continue be like that. Balls on the table, as we.
Oh yes, it's time to lift the balls on the table. So what can we take out from this today now? How should we? In a nutshell. In a nutshell.
What would we say? Look within. This is what I would listen to your own intuition. Listen to the inner silence. But of course, this demands then silence. So this silence you can find through meditation, going out into the forest, like where we are now, and just enjoying nature, because nature will give you a lot if you are open to it.
I would recommend, if really in a nutshell, just do shit. Go out, do shit. Like with a lot of people, it's gonna be really helpful to just get out, do physical stuff, be in nature, get some sweat, get some emotions going, and then you know, if you go out running in the forest, for example, then when you're really, you're fucking really tired, then you sit down, you relax, you focus on your breathing, and then you start listening to it can be much because if you are in this very negative, your mind is looping on negative shit and you don't want to be, nothing is nice, then you know you can get this rest and this peacefulness after you do something really hard physical stuff. So I would try that. Start with that if you can't find anything.
Yeah. And make your bed, as Beni said.
Make your bed. Yeah, just make your bed. Make cookies for your roommates or like.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Very nice, simple things.
Yeah.
And here we can see this what I said before, that we come a little bit from different perspectives, like your perspective or your way of looking at things is more practical, whereas mine is more looking within, in a sense, esoterical. And we are all different, so we can all find different ways in this, but you know, we have to experience this meaning within our own body anyway. So doing things is very important. This I will also say. You know, you can and I mean if you go out, like for instance, like Beni said, now you go out, you go out into the forest, and you feel like, okay, I'm feeling good, I'm feeling like pumped, I walked or I ran, and then you sit down on like this tree here or somewhere, and just let the silence come, listen to the wind, listen to the water, you know, wherever you are, listen to the birds, and let yourself breathe it through. Then perhaps you can have both.
Yeah.
The equilibrium.
Yeah, find some balance within.
Yeah.
Makes it easier to accept all the things we can't control. And there's a lot of stuff we can't control that can annoy the fuck out of us.
We can't control very many things.
No.
Especially if we are not self-aware. But that question is a big one, and we will maybe face it at some point. But I know that, or we know that people see themselves as self-aware. So this is probably gonna get us some flaming mails, and that's, I'm self-aware.
Yes, please tell us how woke you are. I really want to know how woke you are, and if you're a social justice warrior, please let us know all the mistakes we made. That would be super amazing. Like all the people we offended by mistake, it was definitely not intentional. I really, I'm sincere.
Grammatical mistakes, words that we messed up.
A little bit funny, funny, what's it called, this...
If we by mistake insulted your horse.
If horse were insulted, I'm sorry.
Or your cat or your fish.
Why I'm lost with this word for when I speak with accent is the word. If we're using accents that you think are not culturally appropriate or whatever, then you're wrong, but whatever.
But for instance, if I do a loud reading of the Bhagavad Gita, I do change my accent to speak in a more Indian way, because otherwise I get the names wrong. And I love Indian. I love the culture. I love the people and so on. So.
But you're not Indian, my friend. You cannot you cannot speak like that. It's so much fun to be in a country now where I'm officially an immigrant, but I know the language and I speak it in a funny accent because I'm from Finland. So they think I sound like a Moomin troll, this Moomin character. Some of you people know it, some of you don't. And that's so much fun. It's so much fun to just be, invandrare. Jag kan prata lite svenska, jag kan prata lite lustigt.
I can speak the Indian language.
Yes, sir. Come on, guys. It's not serious. And if you were offended, please let us know. That would be amazing.
We need also to let go of all these things that we are offended by and all this. It's bullshit. Come on. It's bullshit. Just let it go and start to to love your neighbor.
Yeah.
You know, that's what we're supposed to.
You know which neighbor I have a hard time loving? It's so difficult, you know, like this really, really liberal leftist people who have gone too far, and they don't realize that the political spectrum is actually circles. So when you go enough left, you come to the far right. So you know, you have these so-called leftist people who they can't sit down with like a Nazi or a racist and just have a conversation with them. And it's like you call yourself a tolerant liberal leftist, and this no. So this type of person I have a hard time sitting at the table with. Like, I don't have a problem just, okay, you're a racist, sure, that's fine. If you want to be that, that is your choice. Like, I can still sit at the table with this person and have a conversation. I maybe don't prefer to spend my time so much, but yeah. But I think this is, you know, if we wanna build a future with actually understanding and being, you know, uniting everything, then like.
I mean, if we give anger or hate towards somebody who is hateful or like that, what does that achieve? It achieves more hate, and then we get more borders, we get more rules, all these things. We should remove borders completely. We should be one Earth, one people. I mean, what the hell are we doing?
Yeah, I don't know.
Yeah, I mean, it's Serge Tankian said it well in his song "Borders Are," where the video is removing borders between countries, one after the other, and that's what we should be: one united Earth and one people. I mean, we're a mote of dust in space. We're tiny. We're not even visible as if we go a little bit away from.
But you know, you can actually pay like 200k to get to space. But why would you do that? We actually are already in space. We're just on this ball that floats in space. So we are in space. Why pay so much money to go like up a little bit and be like, ooh, I'm in space?
That's true. We already are.
Makes no sense.
We already
like,
are
really?
in space, and we need to look to our home. Our home is within us, and it's around us. And we need to look to cleaning this, to healing ourselves and healing the world around us. And we can do this. We can do this. We can start today, and we can fix things in a, I don't know, if we would actually use our brains, maybe in a few weeks.
I don't know.
Let's call in the dolphins. They use more brains than we do.
Okay, calling in the dolphins. This is this is a lake, so no dolphins here. Maybe some sea monsters.
There might be. Who knows?
Maybe we go look for them. I feel like we're time to end this this episode. We're getting into nonsense.
Yeah. No. No. We have. We've touched upon many things here, and as we said, also humor is important, because nowadays people understand things much better through humor. So we wish to be also easily reached. How can we say that? Yeah. So that's why we don't, speak like, but more. People friendly. Yes. And also, actually, I want to mention that, at least for me, this is also in some sense a practice of thinking out loud. Usually if I'm having a conversation with people, I will be more the type of person who thinks and then speaks, and thinks out kind of complete sentences, and then of course comments on stuff. But this is more of a challenge to just actually speak about a subject without actually thinking so much about it, just letting it flow. Yeah. So it is a lot thinking out loud, which then again sometimes things come out and sound really bizarre. I mean, I'm no Kanye, thank God. but anyway, if someone was offended, didn't mean to. it's important now that we stop feeling self-righteous all the time, and that I have a right to be offended by this, and that, you know, you're only limiting yourself. Come on, and you're only destroying your own life. Be who you are, and you know, I don't judge you. We don't judge you. You can be, you know. If
No, I'm a little bit judgy. If you're gonna be a social justice warrior and choose to be offended, you have every right to be offended. If that is what you truly experience, that you are, do it. But I'm a little bit judging you.
Yeah.
I am. I have a hard time not doing that. Yeah.
Yeah. Well. I have learned to let everything go. You know. You know. People are. There are all kinds, and you know. So it's unnecessary to go there.
Yeah, it is. It is. We can just have a laugh about it.
Yeah.
Everyone is allowed to be whatever they want to. Cat or dog or fish or social justice warrior or tree or like whatever.
We actually we are very part tree, but
yeah. Like no, seriously, like peace and love to everybody.
Yeah, and as mentioned, we are very much balls on the table. We will say things as we perceive them, and we will not put any gloves on.
No, I don't like that they try to cancel, like
masks.
they you know, they try to cancel words. I have a hard time with that. I want to use words that have been banned, like, it's a little bit funny, you know, to do the stuff you're not allowed to. So we're not gonna drop any words right now, so don't worry about it. But this, it tickles me a little bit.
Yeah, I understand. It's understandable. I'm Ronnie.
I'm Beni.
And we're RnB. Thanks for watching.